Happy New Year, everyone. So I'm going to do a new interactive today. Hope everyone had a good time and got over the hangover. I'm going to do a new interactive, and the topic is, should I forgive them? And when I talk about this subject of should I forgive them, sometimes we have fights with family members. Sometimes we have fights with friends. Sometimes we have fights with the significant other, your special person, your boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever. Sometimes you guys end up in an argument. Sometimes, time passes. I can't say that people sometimes always change. Life lessons brings people into our lives sometimes as a lesson. And then you have the pressure of other people, you should give them a second chance. Now, I will say right off the back, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. But there are some people who go through some changes, and sometimes there's misunderstandings, or there's influences, or there's a time in their life that they go through. So sometimes you have that gut instinct that you have to keep them away out of your life. I personally go through that with family ties sometimes. And of course, if your gut is telling you no, then you shouldn't. So hopefully this interactive will help confirm, or perhaps, it's been a issue where just two people being stubborn and making the deal bigger than what it is. So this was a request, so I'm going to go ahead and do this one. We'll do 3 options, and we'll work with 2 decks. Okay, that one wants to come out. We're going to pull 6 cards for each one this time. Don't forget to make sure you're subscribed to my channel. I also want hit the bell, that's next to the subscribe button. That way you get the alerts of when I update something new. As I said, share if give it a like if you like the video, and try to share it if you can. Most of these, I've already shuffled them a lot before I even start the video, just so you know. So again, yeah, we want to forgive. So let me clarify one more thing too. Sometimes we can forgive people, but we don't forget. Or we can forgive them, because a lot of, spirituals say you have to forgive your enemy. You can forgive them, but it doesn't mean that you have to welcome them back into your life. You can forgive them, move on, and just simply not welcome them back into your life. That's one advice I give a lot of people. Because it's not about, you holding a grudge. No, you can forgive. You just won't forget. But you're also going to move on with your life, because you just don't want that drama and that stress back. There are people that are just, negative, and who are always going to be in the same situation. Use people when they can. And, okay, what comes around goes around. I will say that. Sooner or later. Sometimes it takes too long in our eyes. But at least that way, you've forgiven, you've moved on, you're not carrying that toxic, negative energy anymore. But you're not going to forget. And you're going to move on with your life. So it doesn't mean you need to take them back. Does that make sense? And sometimes you do want them back. So it really depends. There's some friendships after so many years that have broken up. But then there are those toxic people that are just going to keep taking, or what I call the real life vampires, that the more opportunities that you give them, the more they're going to take back. So hopefully this will help. Again, these interactive throws don't always have a timeline. Sometimes they do relate to you, but the video will usually get to you when it's meant to get to, okay? It could be down a year now, and all of a sudden this video may pop up, and you're going to say, hey, well, this was a year ago. It may not apply. Believe it or not, they actually still can apply even a year later, okay? So let's start with the first one, selection, Buddha. Let's go with the second, skull. Changed it a little bit, but I'm still sticking with my evil eye. All right, so take a few minutes and meditate on which one calls to you. Okay, whether it be the Buddha, the skull, or the evil eye. You can pause the video if you need more time to focus and meditate. All right, let's start with the first one. The Buddha. Okay. In this particular scenario, what I see here is definitely someone of very controlling, obsessive, bossy, how can I explain it? Just overall a very controlling person. So whoever this was definitely a relationship, and it was over a pretty nasty situation. And I want to say that even then there was a lot of gossiping, a lot of talk, a lot of lies, a lot of manipulation, a lot of things that were not said, and it affected a lot. Once you got free, things started flowing. Things started getting better for you. Even, your love life, you improved once you cut from that person, because this was a person who was just very jealous, controlling, manipulative, controlling all aspects of your life and taking as much as they can. So this was definitely a good thing to get rid of. And I can definitely say, yeah, there's, move on, forget about this person, because your life made a major improvement after you cut off all relationships with this person. Okay. And that could be with, you found better friends, you moved out of state, started your whole life over, you ended up in a better romantic situation, or you found friends that are like family, because again, people are like, you have to forgive your family. Well, not always, okay? Your family is your family, I get that, but in some situations, it's the family drama is too much, and so you need to kind of base it on an individual scenario. What it says here is, it's telling me the third eye and chakra and the throat chakra. And it's also giving me, all right, so I'll show you those again. And it's also showing me moving on. So this is definitely something that you have known, you've seen it, you felt it. I would say that you always had your suspicions from the beginning, but you chose to ignore it and you chose to keep quiet. Definitely you never got to really say what you wanted to say. Okay, you just walked away and I can't deal with no more, but you still kept that within you. Okay, so what I will recommend for this particular case to move on is you write that person a letter. Now, you don't have to mail it to them because it could be very nasty. Okay, you write that person what you wanted to say to them, what you felt. You write it to them. You don't have to mail it to them. I don't suggest it. Okay. You can handwrite it, you can type it, whatever it is. Get it out of you, because you need to let that go. And then you can burn it. Please burn it in a safe metal pan. Keep some water next to you. Do it outside of the house. Don't do it inside, and not in a place that's going to catch easily fire. So that you can release that energy, forgive, and move on. Okay? It don't mean you're going to forget, but you can move on and let go of that negative past behind you. Okay? But definitely, I don't recommend bringing this person back into your life. Okay, that's that one. Let's go with the skull. Option number 2. In this particular case, I see someone who left. Okay, someone who just took off. In this case, it wasn't you. Well, someone definitely left. I see that it was definitely, there was a lot of money issues, financial issues involved here. Okay. And I want to say it's a person who had either, it was someone who definitely threw off your balance. There's a financial drive between this. So whether they were with you for money or financial security, or you were with them for financial reasons and put up with a lot of crap. Or also it's a person who had certain addictions that were out of control. Addictions, depression, whatever the case may be, it was something that was different. Whoever this, again, in this particular case, your limits. If you decide to choose this person back, I'm not saying, there was a betrayal here, obviously. Better. And I think it would be based on the judgment of how is the person in their life now. Have they gotten past that addiction? Have they, found help for themselves? And here comes these guidance cards that's saying temptation, balance, and emotional withdrawal. So I would say, 50-50. I definitely would have to make sure where the person is in their life. If this is a person who's still dealing with addiction problems, still has greed, is only money is their priority, then definitely no, stay away. But if it's a person who has changed their life around, done for the better, then yes, you can forgive them. This is a 50-50 thing. It really depends on the scenario. So you really have to look, is this a person who's going to throw you off again, that they continue to do the same behavior? Then no, stay away. If this is a person that you know and seen for yourself that has made the change, and really truly wants to make amends, then you can give them that chance. But again, cautiously. You don't make it based on emotion, okay? You do it logically. You do it, make sure you do the research first. Don't just take them back or forgive them, I should say, without making sure that this person really hasn't changed, because, unfortunately, it happens. All right, third one, the evil eye. This one, I would say, it wasn't necessarily a bad thing, but it was someone who moved away, distanced themselves. They could have moved and then just contact cut off and they came back around. A person who dealt with a legal situation there was a legal situation involved that they needed to deal with, so they kind of withdrew themselves from everyone. I see a major change has happened here, so there's definitely more positive energy going on. So it may have just been a time in this person's life of something they were going through. But I do see that this Justice card can also mean that karma has come to give them a good serving, a good kick in the butt. And karma has probably changed the way they are. So again, don't, take it case by case. You have to find the facts out in any one of these, okay? But I also see here, fertility, which is saying, yeah, they are definitely more with a stronger head on their shoulders, because you have accelerated motion. Whatever this situation was, once it was over, gave them a good kick in the butt and gave them realization of what they did. And the crown chakra, which is also saying they ended up with a spiritual connection. And in those particular cases, some people, become religious, they become spiritual. And when I say religion, I respect all religions, okay? But I have seen a lot of hypocrites in church. And again, I will respect all religions, and there are good people in church, and there are good people in the world, and there are people, but there's good and bad in each one. And spirituality is no different, okay? The difference with spirituality is we tend to be a little more in tune with energies and vibes. So, I always say your actions speak louder than words. You can sit there and show me a million things, but if I see your actions are different than what you're reciting or preaching, then that's not, completely being very spiritual. So we all will make mistakes in life. We're not perfect, okay? So people make mistakes in their life. They go through different episodes, and in this particular case, this is what I see. We all at one time in our life have done something stupid, have done mistakes, but it doesn't mean that we're necessarily a bad person inside. It's just that we took a wrong path, a wrong direction. We had some wrong influence. And this is what I see with this particular throw. So definitely research and see. I do see that karma showed this person a lesson, or is beginning to show them a lesson. So it may not be time yet, but you will see the changes coming little by little. All right. So I hope that helped answer. And again, I'm going to try to do another interactive. Any questions, please, or any particular topics you want, please reach out to me. All right. You can email me. And if you want a personal reading, please email me to get information on how to do that. All right. Talk to you soon.